You guys have probably heard the quote or some version of this quote where it's like things always work themselves out in the end, or like it'll always work itself out, or something along the lines of that. So I wanted to talk about that today. Will it actually work out? Will everything work out? And I think it's almost like hope for humans that we've always said yes to it. And maybe you think that's true, but I would challenge you to think whether or not that's true, or whether or not time just moved on and you were just forced to deal with the like new issues that were going on in your life. Because bad things happen in life, that's just a fact. And people will always say, yeah, they worked themselves out, but it's like, well, a bad two things, it could have gone one of two ways, a good way or a bad way, and it went a bad way. So I don't know if that's really working itself out, or it's just you adapted to it and you learned how to adapt to it, which I guess you could say is working itself out, but the thing itself isn't working it out. It's just you're adjusting your mentality towards it, if you're following. Um, but I did think about, a lot of times you hear that from older people, and they'll be like, listen, like I have many years, I used to be in your shoes. Things always work themselves out, man. But then you look at them and they're like working some corporate job, or like some job that objectively is like boring and like not fun. Like if you just go out in public and ask people what they do, I'm telling you, like 99% of them have like some super boring job that like you just know no one's passionate about. And the reason I'm mentioning that right now is just because I'm like realizing that I'm not, as I'm getting older, that like the adult aspects of life, I'm simply not interested in any of it. And like on a daily basis, 100% of the time that I spend in a day, I'm not interested in whatsoever. Like even if it's like, I don't really spend that much time on my phone. Like people say like doom scrolling or whatever. I don't really do that much, but I still do it somewhat. Even that, I'm not even interested in it. It's just like a time pat. Like it's helping me pass the time. Like when I'm at work and I don't have anything going on for like a couple minutes, I'm just gonna scroll on like Instagram. Like I don't even care about what I'm looking at like at all. I'm not interested. But it's just I guess I can't just stand there in silence for whatever reason in that moment. But I was thinking about the past few months or whatever in my life, and I realized that every day was pretty much the same. It's like wake up early, go to work, come home from work around dinner time, go to the gym, eat, and then do schoolwork until I have to go to bed. And then just recently I started this channel, so I've been having at least that to somewhat like look forward to. But I was then thinking a little bit deeper, and I was like, if I look at the past like 6 7 years of my life, it's debatable whether or not I've had even one day where I've been excited to actually wake up and go and do something. Like every day is just get what needs to get done and get by. And a life just getting by isn't really a life at all. You're not living, you're just existing. And I feel like those are two different things, living and existing. And I know that that sounds super depressing, but it's just reality. And that's just like, I feel like I'm just accepting the reality. Like nothing's interesting, bro. My schoolwork, I've never had a single class, a single assignment in my entire life, even from like middle school, that I would like voluntarily do, that I had even a 1% interest in. It's just not me. And people are like, yeah, it's signs of depression. Like, okay, I guess, but it's the truth is what it is. Like, I'm not interested in my major, but the thing is, I'm not upset about choosing. I chose economics and marketing. Those are my majors. And um, I think about all the other majors that I could have done, and I'm like just as disinterested in them as the one that I'm in. So I'm not like upset about it, but like nothing seems interesting. I've taken gen eds, none of them are interesting. My professors aren't interesting. Nothing that's going on is really interesting. And that's why I really wanted to talk about things working themselves out. It's just not true that things work themselves out, because people live hard lives, and they live hard lives their entire lives, and then they just die and they never accomplish anything. And that's actually like 99% of people who live. And that's just the sad reality. And so when people say, like, is something going to work itself out? you don't know if it is or not, and it's most likely actually not going to work itself out. Maybe the time passes and you survive, but most of the events that happen to you as a human are just not the best. And so for me, what I've realized is kind of the only thing that brings me peace is just like, is my beliefs, my faith in God and Jesus. That's like it. The time I spend in the Bible, that's pretty much it. But bro, I've never had, like I was saying, I think it's been 7 years, man. I haven't had a single day where I got up and I was like, ooh, I'm excited to get after it. Like, let me kick off the sheets and go take that shower and go get out the house and go to work. Like, it's never like that. It's just the discipline that carries me throughout my day. And, for now while I'm young, maybe I have that, but as I get older, like I'm already worn out, bro. I'm 21. I'm literally that's supposed to be the prime of your life is 21. And like I have no energy to do anything when I'm done with everything I need to get to in a day. I just finally finished my day here. It's late at night. I just finished an exam and I got to go to bed as soon as I finish this recording because I have work in the morning and work's not going to be fun at all. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to go home and take I think 3 exams tomorrow night. It's a Friday night. And then Saturday, I have another exam and I have work again. And then I'm going to go to the gym. And even like these things that like I see people get really interested, like the gym online. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even like the gym at all. Like, I go in there and I like just try to destroy whatever muscle group I'm working. If it's like arms, just destroy it. Like, go as hard as I can. And then, because I'm just trying to improve myself as a human, but I don't enjoy it at all. Like, I could easily skip the gym. Like, I hear people say, oh man, I can't go like more than a few days without going to the gym. Like, I don't go more than one day without going to the gym, but I could easily go the rest of my life without actually going to the gym, like mentally, like I would be completely fine. It's just like a discipline thing. I know I got to do it. You got to do things you don't want to do in life. And, I'm okay with that, but it's getting to the point where that's literally everything. Like, I don't want to go to work, but I go to the work every day. And I don't want to have to deal with these people, but I deal with them every day. And it's like, will things really work out? I just don't see any evidence that it's true that they will. It's like Donnie Darko was one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite characters ever. But if you haven't seen the movie, there's like a scene where he's in a therapist's office. He's kind of like he has visions and he's a little bit mentally off. And the lady asks him, the therapist, she's like, do you believe you're alone? And he goes, well, I haven't seen, he's like, you live alone. When you're born, you're alone. When you live, you're alone. And when you die, you're alone. And he's like, I want to believe that I'm not alone, but I haven't seen any evidence to support the contrary. And I like thought about that, but just like mixing instead of alone, like things working themselves out. And I was like, it's true. Like most people live lives of tragedy and things don't work themselves out. And so it's just a harsh reality of life that we must accept. I feel like I've accepted it, but it's never going to stop me from trying, hopefully, at least right now with my mindset. I'm only 21, so I'm still going to get after it every day and keep working, but it's just hard, man. I'm not like this is getting monotonous. I'm repeating myself over and over again, but I'm not particularly interested in anything that I do on a daily basis. I don't care about the small talk with my coworkers. I don't care about what color shirt I'm going to put on for the day. I don't really care about this stuff. All I'm trying to do is get through the day and complete all the tasks on my to-do list. And maybe if I'm lucky, I get like an hour to listen to some music at night before I go to bed. But yeah, I understand this video sounds completely depressing. I don't know. I was just, I guess, wondering if other people feel the same way, if it's just me. I feel like a bunch of my peers, especially in my age, they're all out, like, almost all of my friends, I wouldn't even call them friends, acquaintances that I went to school with in the past and stuff like that, like peers, old friends, they're like studying abroad and doing this stuff, and they always like during the regular school semesters, they're like going to parties and having fun and always posting like cool videos on Instagram and stuff. And like I had that opportunity and I chose, not to do it because even that stuff doesn't even like going to parties and that stuff doesn't seem fun to me at all. Like I've never even had a drink. I'm 21, I could legally drink. I've never had a sip of alcohol in my life because it doesn't interest me. Like not like I don't know. These things don't interest me. And that's definitely a me problem and I'm aware of that. So, I hope one day it could change, but it's just the reality. It's like what do you get out of after you put in all the work? Some money? Like that's it? Money that you can't use to buy back the time that you spent? Money like you buy a car to go to work, but then you're working to pay off the car that you just went to work for, and then you get a lease on or a mortgage on a house that you leave vacant all day because you have to go to work just to pay off the house that you leave vacant all day. Like it just these things don't even make sense. Like I'm doing the long-term math in my head and I'm like everybody's kind of like a slave. And so I don't really think things are all working themselves out. Like I think I saw a statistic, it's like 50 or 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Like, bro, that's not living. That's just barely getting by. That's like constantly having to worry about money, constantly having to put in overtime, extra shifts, doing whatever you can to make your last dollar. And there's no shame to those people at all. I'm not judging them at all. I just think it's crazy that that's like a reality of life, and that's definitely not like that doesn't mean that it worked itself out. That's the exact opposite. Things didn't work out is what that is. And so I'm just accepting that in real time. And it's just something that's been on my mind. I wanted to, you know, kind of share it with you guys, see if anyone else is feeling the same way. But yeah, let me know in the comments.